It's a
a
far
little
flight,
sick of this market
California
thing.
to Italy.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's going to be a far flight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like we fly to Calgary first and then to Rome, so it's gonna be kind of a long day.
Where's Calgary?
It's on the western side of Canada.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Calgary. I didn't even, yeah, okay, Calgary. There it is. I was like, am I spelling this right? Yeah, I actually did not know about Calgary. That's new ones.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a long day. I don't remember how long, probably like 14 hours or so.
Yeah. Yeah, those travel days are always quite exhausting.
Yeah.
At least
But
you land and you have a whole Sunday to chill. That's really
yeah,
nice.
exactly. I'll be
That's
going with my girlfriend and we're just gonna drug ourselves hard on the plane.
fun. Take like some sleeping pills or something.
Sleeping pills, melatonin, other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Honestly, it's probably a good idea for such a long flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could knock
Yeah.
out like a bunch of movies, but then you're gonna be dead when you get there.
No. Yeah, because we land at like 11 or so, and it's a 9 hour time difference. So we definitely need to get some sleep on the way.
Yeah, you're gonna be in my time zone. That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Yeah, I'm gonna be trying to trade most days if I can. It just depends on if we're like out and about doing something when the market opens, but
Yeah,
um she's on board for doing some trading while we're there because then I can, cover dinner, cover pasta, stuff like that.
yeah, that's good.
That's the beauty of day trading right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna try to see if I can catch some trades at the open for like half an hour, maybe an hour or so, and then get out.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's what it's all
I was
about.
I was thinking that same thing of like really when you're traveling, being able to really narrow down the time that you trade.
yeah,
Because, or at least for like me and you, we trade. We don't primarily trade pre-market, so we could really narrow it down to like 30 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes, and then you catch like a little bit of profit, and then you go on your day, especially if you're traveling or on vacation or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think
Yeah,
that's why I
and
became a. Oh, sorry, go. Yeah.
I was just gonna say the being in the market has not been rewarding me lately.
Yeah, time.
Yesterday I made 1100 and then went down to negative 600 and then luckily was able to catch a nice move on FRZA back up to 1200 for the day. Today on Hoth, I got myself up 1100 like immediately out of the open. Kept trading some other stuff. Pretty much stopped trading at that point. And then probably like 20-30 minutes later, I took a trade on FRZA, just got absolutely flushed on, took a trade on AI. Next thing I know, I'm down to 200 on the day and
Oh
then
no.
red. And now I'm back to 980. But again, like same thing as yesterday. So
Wow,
at least
eight.
I'm finishing well, but it'll be good to be in Italy and like just get out when I'm green the first time.
Yeah, get green, get going. I just checked out AI. It had a really nice 10 to 11 a.m. front side, but
Yeah.
the open was a little bit hectic. Um, yeah, I think that's trading in Europe has basically made me a pre-market trader because you basically have lunch and then you're kind of ready to start work or something,
Yeah.
it's like 1 p.m. So like what do you do at 1 p.m.? And then the market opens at 3:30 p.m. So that like in a way it would be nice to be like done from 1 to 3, which in America is 7 to 9. So it's
Yeah.
like I think that's why I become a pre-market trader. It's like
When it's
just
Eastern time, yeah, Eastern
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. Well, I know that Italy right now, especially, is just packed with tourists. Even already, just early June. So we're going to try to be getting out early in the morning, beat the tourists. Then we'll probably go to the gym most days that we're in a major city. Probably get a snack, come back in, just rest, relax for a little bit, and then go back out later. So hopefully that all works out really well. That's what I did last year when I was there, and it worked out great.
Yeah, that sounds really solid. Yeah. Especially the workout. Nothing like a midday or something like that. Workout, some sun.
Thank God I met a girl at the gym.
Dude, imperative.
Yeah. No, it's great because we travel together. My family's on the East Coast and she's come with me a couple times, and it's nice to, like, it'd be fine to go to the gym by myself or something like that, but it's really nice to not feel weird about it or just know that it's a priority. It's like, yeah, we're definitely going to the gym, like probably close to every day.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, it helps when you have somebody that's on the same mindset. When I did my really long road trip for like 6 months, I also was mostly with a guy who also works out and plays sports. So we were like, okay, every new town we go get like a day pass at a gym, and we were in a different town basically like every other day. So we were still hitting like 3 to 4 gym workouts a week. And I don't know if I would have survived that road trip if I didn't do that, because it was like a really good, like, okay, detox, sauna session, gets like an hour of real workout in. It was just like, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, exactly.
Gave us routine.
We're going to be pretty well set. I know a really, really cool gym in Rome. I know of at least 1 or 2 decent ones in Florence. I don't know any in Bologna, but it's a major university town, so I don't think we're going to have too much trouble. The only tough part is in the Alps. I know of one little gym. Last year when I was there, I'm sure I did it wrong. I just walked in and started using stuff and nobody asked me anything. So
if it works, it works.
Yeah. And then there's a gym in Venice that I went to last year, and it's just like the most old school thing ever. And typical Italians, I'm trying to talk with them in Italian. I'm like, do you guys have like a day pass that I can buy, something like that? And they're like, no, just pay tomorrow. I was like, I know what that means. But yeah, it's pretty great.
That's so funny.
Nice.
Go if you. I was just gonna say, like, in some European places, it really feels like people don't want your money. Like, especially in Berlin.
Yeah.
Like, most places are just always closed, and then when you do finally go there, they like only accept cash, or they'll be like, no, we don't really have that. Like, it's like they're not there to make money. That's like the last priority in their head. It's really weird coming from America.
Huh.
Yeah, it's totally weird. It's like a service they're providing, but it's not, the main point isn't to make money.
Yeah.
It's like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about today's market?
Yeah, that's a great question. Get back on track.
Yeah. You want to
Definitely
go
better than yesterday's market. Monday really slayed me, and I tried to stick around longer to get back green. I basically traded till noon, and then, like, of course, like 30 or like not even like 9 minutes later, that next 30 minutes was like a perfect little stretch of trading. That's what Danny was talking about with FRZA. That was I'll even share my screen. That was a nice little move we had on FRZA. That
bailed me out.
Yeah, and this is when I stopped trading here, and it was like a couple minutes later we had this.
Yeah.
This is like this is what I was waiting for the whole day.
Yeah,
literally.
Well, one of my other friends was down like $5,000 on the day, then got himself to just down 1,000, and then got himself up to like plus 100 or something like that.
Wow!
Right before that move happened.
Yeah.
And a few minutes later, I texted him. I was like, "Did you keep trading that move?" And he was like, "No, I'm out." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's probably the right choice, anyways."
Yeah, but if you're down 5,000, then you get back to like plus 100. That's already such a win. Like,
a typical day for him to both sides is like plus or minus 5,000 plus or so.
Yeah. Okay.
So he trades bigger.
One question for you, Danny, since you kind of trade similar to me, is At what point do you start running into like liquidity problems when you try to like buy, let's say you buy the market, and instead of the market price is say like $3.50, you're taking all of $3.50, now you're starting to fill at 351 and 352.
I'm starting to run into some issues with that now. I don't know, I could probably say that it has more to do with liquidity in the market in the last couple of weeks than it has to do with my share size, because things have been pretty slow the last like 2 weeks in general.
Yeah.
But like when I'm cranking it up to like 3,000, 3,500 or so per order, I'm starting to notice that. But then I was trading RCRT today and I was trading SEV yesterday. Both of those were like 40-cent stocks, and I was just like in 7,000 shares, out 7,000 shares. So obviously those are much different, much more volume because they're way cheaper. But yeah, on like the normal price stocks, like $3 and up, basically I'm starting to notice that with if I'm trying to take like more than 3,000 shares. But I think more than anything, it's just because like volume is low across the board right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. It's just a lack of continuation. We've been really seeing a lot of moves that just take those extra couple minutes or extra few attempts. And the last few weeks, I feel like buying into the first breakout was really good, but lately it's been less good buying that initial breakout. So I've been kind of weaning off of that a little bit.
One thing I noticed is like the market has been like getting cold the past, past 2 weeks now. It's been, well, not really cold, but it hasn't been as hot since that last rally we got off of GFI and top. That seems to be already kind of come and gone with that momentum, that sympathy momentum. And now we're kind of like in some sort of like a gully of momentum. We don't really know when that next one's going to come. I mean, I thought Hoth looked pretty good just with like that pre-market chart that was holding VWAP coming into the open. And that's one of my picture perfect setups is like right at the open, you get that quick dip underneath VWAP. You always buy that first dip and look for that reclaim. And then you push to test the high. And I sized up into that one with 3,000 shares. And I was able to make about 10 cents on that. And then a couple more scalps. I was able to get over $500, which was the best day of 2023 so far. And the volume on that candle was over 3 million shares. The volume was so phenomenal. And I was ready for more. I was ready for this to keep coming and the volume to come back in, but it just never came back in for that break at 430. And I thought it looked beautiful. It was coming up off of $1 as it closed yesterday. It's at $4 today. High volume as a catalyst. Has previously made a big move in the past, so it's a low float, so it has a history of making big moves. But yeah, that lack of follow through, like Alex said, was not the best for that break. Like you want to see that break at 430.
Exactly. That's what I'm counting on lately. Like I had said, I made 1,100 right out of the gate not out of the gate, but at like 9:35 when it started really pushing. I made that move, and then I think one of the things that I've been doing really well this year is not looking for continuation because it's just not coming.
Smart.
So I'm like,
and one thing,
made a nice trade, time to stop for like at least a minute.
And one thing I want to say, just like as a kind of like a tip for anyone like watching who kind of trades a little bit more scalpy like I do, is when the market is colder like that, you definitely want to limit the amount of trades that you take and only take obviously you only want to take the best setups. What I find for the best setups for scalpers is waiting for the front side move over the 90 MA and only buying dips. Dips, not breakouts. You only want to buy breakouts in a hotter market.
Most of the time messes me up a lot. I'll stop out and then the move actually happens and then I'm like, they're nasty.
That's what I
lately.
realized I was doing a lot of last year, was buying for the breakout, taking a paper cut, just a ton of paper cuts until I was solidly red on the day and super frustrated.
Yeah, I think that sums up yesterday for me.
Yeah.
But yesterday I hit max loss yesterday, and it wasn't totally my fault. I mean, it was obviously because I'm the one placing the trades, but my internet died on me, and there's a few times I had to use my phone to close the trade. And then I hit up the internet company, and they're like doing maintenance, and basically, yeah, the whole trading day I just couldn't trade. So then like I had a few big losses, and then I couldn't really. And then the internet got more stable again around like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but there was nothing. I mean, there was absolutely nothing to trade. So I kept on, staring at the market, being like, oh, maybe I can dig out of the hole, but I couldn't. So yeah, it was my fault, trading with a bad internet, but getting stuck in bad trade or getting stuck in a trade and then you can't close it, that really screwed me up. I took 2 back-to-back $500 losers because by the time I was able to close it, the whole ticker sold off. I literally rode like a 15% wave down. Super frustrating.
Nasty.
But I'm actually surprised. I was able to make back all of my losses and then some today, even though it wasn't like amazing conditions. So I'm green on the week again. But yeah, rough start to the week. I hate starting Monday off super red. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the one thing that I've done really well this year, and like I was texting with my girlfriend yesterday morning just about how the morning was going. She was asking about it, and I was like, well, kind of frustrated. I was up 1,100 and then down 600, sitting at negative 100 right now. And then I was like, I think that one thing that I'm doing really well this year is just understanding this is the type of day that's really not going to have an impact on my year in total. So there's no reason to get all bent out of shape about it either way. And that mindset has definitely helped me this year.
I couldn't agree more. That mindset is imperative. I wasn't even really upset about yesterday. And today I had no intention, like I was not in the mindset of like, let me make back my money. And I think even like a year ago, I would have been like, or even like 6 months ago, like I would have been like very focused on like, got to get back. So I've been, I was like, even if I could just get a few good trades in today and I end the day up $100, I was like, that's a nice, better than nothing because it's not a great market. Yeah. So I agree. Like if it was a great market, and I'm totally trading horrible. Yeah, maybe I could be a little bit upset, but hey, like you can't beat yourself up, especially in these conditions.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to make anything better.
No. Yeah.
What helps with that is that if you have multiple sources of income as well, because you can kind of mentally accept it and move on rather than trying to fight to make like $100 or $500 or whatever you're trying to shoot for per day so you can pay your bills and keep on living. But like if you have that secondary source of income, if you have, a job or if you have some other sort of business going on the side, that'll definitely help you mentally to be able to cope with a slower market and just being like, you know what, I'm going to take my $100 today and I'm going to walk, or I'm going to take my $100 loss today and I'm going to walk and come back tomorrow. When it's hot, then I can push it a little harder. But, today I'm not going to sit until 4:00 when the market closes to try to make my mental goal, which is $500, $1,000 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a huge point too, because trading is a major source of my income, but I have 4 things that I do. The other 3 are all contract work basically, but trading is about half of my income.
Yeah. And it's nice because then you don't have to take money out of your trading account. You don't have like
exactly
all these other weird stresses that go into your trading, paying for rent.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I have to pay quarterly taxes in the next couple of days, and my checking account can handle it, but I'll be pretty low in there. And so I'm like, do I take out of my trading account? But it's just a mental thing because in TD, they show your running history of like % gain on the year. And if you take out of the account, it like counts it as a loss for whatever reason. So I'm like, I don't want to do that, and it's stupid. It messes up the stats. It doesn't mean anything.
I feel the same way. I've had moments where I take money out, let's say like, I don't know, whatever it is, $10,000 or something. And then there's like this huge dip in my running P&L. And then, and I'm like, I got to get back to like break even, which is so stupid. But I can totally relate. Yeah.
Just that sharp drop.
Yeah, it looks horrible. They should get rid of that. I mean, it's a nice chart, but like it definitely messes me up psychologically.
Me too. They really should fix that, because like it shouldn't count as a loss.
Yeah.
Anyway, why do you pay quarterly taxes? Are you required to in your state or something?
I'm self-employed, and I have been for 5 years. So I don't actually know if I'm required to, but it's better than I don't have any W-2s. I don't have any withheld taxes. So it's better than paying like whatever huge lump sum at the end of the year, I think. That's the only
I was just thinking the benefit of not doing it is if you can kind of save that percentage into a savings account earning like interest.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Right.
I haven't looked too much into that. Yeah, through the year, I'm contributing to a SEP IRA. So I have a Roth IRA and I have a SEP IRA. If I don't know if you guys are familiar, Alex, you might be. Huh?
The SEP? No.
Yeah,
it's a self-employed pension, which is basically you contribute to it and it reduces your taxes because it counts against your profit. But it's the same thing as an IRA, basically. Like you can't take out of it till you're retired.
I didn't know you can have both. I'll have to look into this.
Yeah.
Is it grow tax free, or do you have to pay taxes when you take it out?
I'm pretty sure that it grows tax free because you've already paid taxes on the money that goes into it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to double tax you on it. But I don't think there's no contribution limit. But it is substantially higher than a Roth, because the Roth, I think now you can contribute 6,000 a year. With a SEP, it's like 60,000 or something like that. Not that I contribute even.
Can you day trade in it?
I don't think so. But now with my regular trading account having grown substantially this year, and thinking about paying taxes next week, I'm really thinking about starting to trade in my Roth, because I trade with my TD account. You can have multiple accounts with TD linked to your DOS platform. So I could just trade in my Roth IRA through DOS, just like normal.
Switch it right over. What's the acronym for that? Or is it an acronym, or is it SEPT, SEPT or something?
SEP
okay.
IRA, SEP IRA.
Write it down so I could not forget and look it up later. I also just looked it up, and you have to. So I actually got a fine for this once. I was like trying to remember the details behind it. But if you don't pay quarterly taxes and you're self-employed, you will get a fine. I didn't do it for a few years, and then I was like, why am I getting these fines? And I called the IRA, and but only if you're making over $1,000, which that's very little grace period. So I think the first year is probably fine, but if you do it again, because you have to base the quarterly taxes on what you think you're going to pay, and you typically use what you did
based on last year,
right? So
you have to pay at least like 90% of what you paid last year throughout the year. And there's deadlines. It's like June 15th. It's each quarter. And then if you miss the deadline, you get a fine, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fine is. I don't think it's huge, but
no, it was like 150 or something like that.
Yeah,
but it might be inconvenient. It's annoying. And then second of all, I think it might even get worse if you like constantly are a offender. But
probably it's the government. They're just trying to nickel and dime you as much as they can while billionaires are paying no taxes.
We
probably don't need to talk about that.
No, that'll work. Yeah.
So I guess ideally, if you're at a level of trading where, I mean, obviously like a successful trader where you can make 6 figs in a year, ideally you'd want to break it up to where the first few months or so you can make enough to sustain you for the year, and maybe a little bit more for whatever you want to use it on. And then the rest, let's say 5 or 6 months of the year, you can just solely trade in your Roth. Is that how you would do it?
That's probably, well, that's kind of what I do. I trade primarily my Roth IRA. And my goal is just to get my Roth IRA to like 1 million, and then, start making investments, more and more investments in it.
Yeah.
And then if you think about it, if you want to take out 100K early at any time from your Roth IRA, you already grew it from basically $6,000 or $12,000, depending on your contribution, to $1 million tax-free. So if you take out that $100,000, yeah, you'll pay your income tax on that plus a 10% penalty, but that's only that extra $10,000 you're paying. You still grew it from, 6,000 to 1 million tax-free. So the way I look at it is I don't have any problem paying that 10% penalty, because, when you have that massive amount of money in there, even if you just put all of it in, like, I don't know, the S&P 500 and it goes up 10%, you're, doing a good job. So paying those,
and it's still better than paying normal taxes on it.
Yeah. Imagine growing an account from 6,000 to $1 million. You'd be paying over $500,000 in taxes.
Yeah. Something like that.
Like
I think that I've contributed something like 18,000 to my Roth over the last couple of years. I think that I got it to like 22,000 and then traded a little bit to get it over PDT, or no, I've probably contributed 24,000 to it, but I've grown it from 24 to like 40 or 41 now. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not focused on it. I'm just kind of slowly growing it, but I probably should start trading on it at this point. Like you were saying, I think it makes a lot of sense to trade in a normal account to just like have cash available if you need it. And then once you've kind of made some decent gains in there, because I think you can withdraw from Roth with no penalties for like a first-time home purchase and stuff like that.
Yeah, first-time home purchase, but it's only, I forgot the cap. It's not that much money.
Yeah,
and then you could obviously take out all your principal. So I've almost removed all my principal from my Roth IRA.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
So
and then the other difference is,
oh, sorry.
I was just going to say the other differences are there's no leverage and you can't short in an IRA.
Yeah.
So, but you need the 25,000 for the instant settlement, right?
Yeah, just to be over PDT for having it as a margin account. Yeah.
Nice. That's really good info.
Yeah, that's what Ross does. I think almost entirely is trading in his Roth.
Yeah, at his level, it's just like he can trade probably like 1 month and then he's good for the rest of the year, and then he can just trade in his Roth and have tax-free millions.
Yeah, basically. I think that most of the like 12 million he's made was in his Roth. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, and then with that, you could even convert it to like a self-directed, and you could still buy houses, buy crypto. You could still technically do whatever you want with that money. Yeah, it's cool. You could do a lot of stuff with Roth IRAs.
Yeah.
The funny thing is they don't teach you any of this in school.
I know, it's crazy.
Financial education is lacking in most people, which stinks, because I mean, I didn't learn any of this in school. I didn't even know how
I didn't either.
Day trading was a thing in school. They don't really teach anything about that. They don't teach about Roth IRA or like retirement. So most people are going through life without a retirement fund. Yeah. And I'm someone who works for the banks, and I can see everyone's account. And most people, believe it or not, most people are late on their loans. They're delinquent. They have high credit card debt, high personal loans with high interest rates. And it's really a mess. And I feel bad for some of these people when they have no idea that they could have stopped themselves from getting in that situation. They just were just not knowledgeable about finances, and they got the quick cash loan for $5,000 so they can pay for their rent, but now they're paying 25% interest every year, and it's a mess.
Wow,
yeah,
that's disgusting.
There's all of that. There's like, you get a credit card with a $30,000 limit, and it's like, great, that's my money. Yeah. It's like, no,
that's
you
what
don't
they
have
think.
that money.
That's what they think. Yeah, and it's like, it's not. Yeah.
The financial literacy that I've learned through day trading 3.5 years later is incredible. It's like, it's super interesting. For one, I studied biology and I loved that, but now I'm definitely like, I could see some interest in finance too.
Yeah.
Because it's so important and there's so much to learn.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer that you don't really need to make a lot of money to be well off as long as you're
Yeah.
financially literate. You can, with 50,000 a year, you can be well off. You can live in a house. You can probably have a family if you're able to financially budget, allocate your money, and put it in the right accounts at the right times, and maximize your your tax deductions, and depositing into the Roth IRA is a great idea, or college fund 529. And if you're able to budget, I think you're able to do that with let's say if you and your wife is both working and making 50,000 a year. I think that is perfectly doable. It's just that most people aren't able to budget, and they just spend a lot of money on McDonald's and going out and getting expensive dinners when they're really not able to afford it. And the inflation just makes it even worse as well.
Yeah, I think I did the math a few years ago. If you're saving $1,000 a month into a market account in like 20 or 30 years, it's over $1 million.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Default doing nothing nothing fancy.
But you said with the Roth putting in 6,000 a year.
If you're saving $1,000 a month into just like a market-based account, like 7% per year,
Hawaii or something.
Yeah, that's what it'll end up. And
yeah, that's what I did with the calculation on the Roth as well. If you start doing it at like 20, even as late as like 23 or 24, if you do 6,000 a year, if you're able to do 6,000 a year, which is only $500 a month. I mean, it is still a lot of money. $500 is still a lot of money if you're working hourly or if you don't have like a high paying job. But I think if you budget, you're able to do it. I was able to do it. I was living on my own and I was making like $500 a week, and I was able to siphon out $500 a month to put away into my retirement. And I was able to do that calculation, 6,000 a year, 6,000 a year for until you're 59 and a half. When you can take it out, you're at, I think, $1.4 million tax free. And if you can do that, put away $500 a month. And I think you can, if you're making like 40, 50,000 a year, the average salary for a person living in America, I think you are able to put away $500 a month if you're able to budget correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely right. Do you guys keep a budget?
Oh my God. Yeah. Every single dollar, every single cent that leaves my account, I am putting it in an Excel spreadsheet and documenting it.
Me too.
I have never kept a budget. That's interesting.
I keep a budget as well, but quickly I could, here's the total outstanding credit card balance from 1999 to present. So the US is really just racking up the individual's citizens racking up a big credit card. So it's, to go with what Tom was saying earlier, you're calling these people, you deal with support, and you see their accounts. It's kind of interesting that there's maybe a correlation you could probably identify. Frequencies and people are loaded to the teeth right now in debt.
Yeah. Most people have the problem of spending money too much and being too like loose with it. For me, on the other hand, I'm like the opposite. I get anxiety every single dollar that I spend because I was so broke for like ever since like the past year. So like every single dollar I'm like anxious to spend. I don't spend any money on myself, only the necessities. And that's just how I lived for the first like few years on my own. And it was like really like eye-opening because like that didn't change when I started to make money trading. And I was actually starting to make like 5,000 a month through trading and my day job and have a little money to spend. And like, I still wouldn't allow myself to spend money on myself. And I just kind of interested about that mindset that never really changed. And the fact that, at a certain point, it is okay to enjoy your money a little bit when you start to make a little extra. But, if you're in the trenches and you're trying to make ends meet, you definitely need to make sure that you're only spending on the money on things that are important as of right now, and that, things will change in the future, and you'll be able to, be a little bit looser in the future, but you can't be loose to try to live a certain lifestyle when the means aren't there.
I agree with that. When I first moved out to California 8 years ago now, I was like pretty much broke, and I was paycheck to paycheck with no wiggle room. And I got a full-time job and had saved up to about 25,000 in my account through the 2 years that I was there, and it became a really kind of not a good situation anymore. It was really clear that it was time to move on. And so I started doing other stuff on my own, and over like the next 6 or 8 months or so, that 25,000 got down to like 5,000. And so it wasn't really until probably like 2 years ago when I started making good money in the market that that mindset changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still very conscious of where I spend my money, but I'm much less rigid with it now. And it's really interesting to think about too, because like we'll go out to dinner and it'll be like $100 or something like that, or a little bit more, and it's like, that's kind of expensive. But then I think about it in terms of trading, and like I can take a $600 loss and it means nothing. And there's some major compartmentalization that has to happen, I think, between like real life money and trading money.
Yeah. You also need the 25K minimum just to trade, so you can't go below that.
Yeah,
it's interesting how we do think about that. Like you can take a $500 loss. Well, at least for you, $500 loss is nothing. Well, I can take a $100 loss and I'll be like, all right, whatever, small red day, let's move on to the next day. But you can spend like $100 on a dinner and be like, oh crap, I just broke the bank tonight.
My girlfriend and I are traumatized of New York City. Everything was so expensive. When we got there, my friend was like, oh, I booked us like just like a normal local restaurant when we landed, and our bill for 4 people was like almost $400, and we didn't even buy anything crazy. I didn't even have a drink. I just had water.
So I was going to ask, did anybody have 1 or 2 drinks?
My friend had like a cocktail, it was like $25, and then there was like everything is just so expensive. Like the sides were like already 20 something dollars, just like for like a little bowl of hummus. Like nothing made sense there. And then like coming from Berlin, like where everything is like, it feels like it's for free compared to New York City. So that really threw me off. But you want to live very frugal, because trading is just like any other self-employed job. Sometimes it's cyclical. You go through a year where there's maybe no action. So you always want a nice buffer. But I also totally agree with what Danny says. Like at one point you need to like live your life, and it's fine to spend money. Like if there's something you really like or adds value, I think it's worth it. And you also don't want to get in the mindset of like picking up, tripping over dollars to pick up pennies. That can be very dangerous, and you can miss the bigger picture. But net, you want to live frugal and always make sure you have a big buffer. That'll allow you to make much better long-term decisions.
Yeah, exactly. When you're not up against the tight ropes, you can you have more wiggle room, more breathing room.
Yeah. My friend said something really interesting once. I think I even shared it on this podcast. I was like, man, I've like, let's say 100K sitting in the bank. I don't know what to do with it. I feel like it's like wasted energy, And he was like he said something really good. He was like, that money in the bank, even if it's not earning anything or doing anything, that gives you, it's like a powerful weapon that gives you like peace of mind and clarity, and is stress-free kind of way to approach things. Like, oh, I don't want to work for 3 years. You can do that. Like it just allows you to be very, very calm. And like, that is the power that money in your bank is giving you. Maybe not, it's not giving you that 7% or whatever, but it's giving you that peace of mind. And that is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
So you want to build that nest egg, live frugal for a bit. Oh, is that me? What did I just buy? I always have so many limit orders out, but just for investment stuff. So it's not like something that's super sketchy, I guess. Yeah, okay. Man, there's I had one of my nicest swing trades recently on Unity, just freaking, I was accumulating it. And then during the Apple show yesterday, they just ran up because they did a collaboration with their Vision Pro.
What do you guys think of those Vision Pro things?
It's a good question, actually. Who wants to start? I don't have much experience with it.
I don't know.
I looked at it briefly. I looked at like the release video, like it was maybe like 30 seconds long, like a trailer type of thing. I thought it was cool, but then on the other hand, like I'm already like borderline addicted to YouTube, and now Twitter, since I downloaded Twitter since Elon bought it. And I think I'm starting to get a little bit more addicted than I want to be to that. And I feel like if I did get that piece of technology, it would make it much worse.
Looks kind of cool, but it's also like $3,500.
Not cheap.
I think I saw a post on Reddit yesterday about it, and it was like for a family of 4 for their VR goggles, that's 14 grand. And I'm like, if I have a family, there's zero chance I'm buying one of those.
They'll all want it.
Yeah. $14,000 for these VR goggles that are probably going to break.
The one thing that my girlfriend said was like, what if you want to lay down and watch a movie in that thing? You can't really lay down. You have to like sit upright.
Yeah.
I don't know if it looks that comfortable.
I think, I don't know. It looks like sort of comfortable enough, I guess, but I think like you kind of look like an idiot. And with any of the VR goggles, it's not really their fault. Like they did well enough, I guess, but
it could screw up your eyes too.
Yeah.
That's how I always feel about it, but I'm sure it looks pretty cool. I definitely would like to try it out. This website is definitely selling it based on their visuals.
Yeah, it looks cool. Like as a photographer, it would be cool to be able to just like beam up my photos onto the wall and see them all blown up big. And I was reading or listening, and that it has like each little screen is the same density as like a 4K TV.
Yeah.
So apparently it's supposed to be super sharp, super crisp. It's supposed to look really nice, but then also like, I don't know, what about the real world?
What about the real world? Yeah, who knows? It'll be interesting if one of us gets it, and then we could hear about some real life experiences. But it looks pretty clean. I gotta say, well, classic Apple, right? Very clean.
Yeah.
So
we're still so young. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy shit we're going to see and when we're older.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, and freaking Nvidia and Apple are really holding up the market, huh? They got the team on their back.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I hope this brings like maybe some more small cap action. I mean, just like Unity software, where you have this collaboration with a larger company, right? They're working with Apple. Those are some of my favorite catalysts, because like you don't know how far that's going to go. Often those are like 2, 3, 4, 500% gappers. So I hope like we'll get a lot of small caps again in some sort of new AI push or some sort of, I don't know, virtual reality push. Just like there's always a trend, right? Like during BLM, you had like the body cams, and there would be like one body cam small cap gapper popping after another. So
DGLY.
Yeah, exactly. DGLY. Yep. So I would love for some new trend to pop up. Maybe this will kickstart one. That's usually really good.
That's always what I'm looking out for, is like, what's the current theme? It seems like right now there is no theme at all, and I think that's why things have been kind of slow and weak lately.
Yeah, that's a big
Mhm.
problem. And I kind of feel like everything's a bit extended. Like if you look at here, I'll share my screen again. If you look at, let's say, the SPY, we're in a major supply zone right now. After like a very slow grind for the last 3 months or so. And now we're just hitting this massive former double top supply zone, which was a huge support zone for a really long time. So, clearly tons of resistance here. And then you go to something like the Russell, we have that nice support coming in, a bit of a rounded bottom. But also, I thought this 180 SMA was just going to slam us down again. But we're slowly kind of grinding back up. So hopefully the Russell keeps grinding up. I feel like a nice clean grind on the Russell usually gives us amazing frontside small cap action. Like nothing, it doesn't have to be like big daily percent winners, but like this was 2020. Look at this. It was just like a perfect grind up. That was like the best small cap trading we've pretty much ever had. So
yeah, oh my God, that was insane. Like I was not ready for it because I just started, and well, I started in 2015, but I blew up my account, and then I was like, you know what, screw this isn't real. And then come back at 2020 with all the hype, and I was not skilled to be trading, so I pretty much missed a great opportunity to perform in that 2020 market. And I wish I was like, if that could happen right now, I would be so ready.
Yeah.
It would be like the picture perfect like pitch every single day. And like I've been at batting practice every day for 3 years. I'm ready to hit some homers. And yeah, every single day would just be a beautiful gapper, multiple beautiful gappers for a whole year straight. That was just,
I think about that all the time.
Same.
but now, after going through that, I was like, you know what, I'll miss this one, but I'm definitely gonna be ready. No matter how long it takes for the next one, I'm going to be ready. Whatever it takes, 5 years from now, 10 years from now,
it'll come.
Yeah.
And there's always like those, even on a slow market, there's always that like 1 or 2 months where it goes really nice, and you can make like 80% of the income that month. Just most days are just going to be a little bit grinder days, get green, get going, which also isn't bad. Like I actually enjoy that sometimes. Like there's some days where I just wrap up pre-market, I made my 1,000 or something, and it's like nice, I can kind of do whatever I want, and that's a great time to build other businesses, build other projects.
Right.
Because during 2020, like you had to be basically trading all day because you were focused. I mean, you could, and that's how you could walk away with a lot of money. The opportunities were there, so it's kind of nice, this little downtime. It's always important to remember, like, not to wear yourself out when things are crazy, and
that's the biggest thing, I think.
Other income streams.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables when it comes, for sure. There's a lot of variables when it comes to day trading, more than you think. The more you get into it, the more experience you get, the longer you're in the industry, the more variables that you didn't think were there that you can tweak to make yourself better trader, or streamline your trading process, or streamline other businesses, saving time and maximizing that window of time where you're the most optimal, I guess.
Yeah, there's always that fine tuning, right? That constant fine tuning never ends.
Yeah,
that's what keeps it so exciting. It's like a day in the water, just like surfing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never the same, right? So you're always just trying to get a little bit better. And also practice like a side strategy. Like I'm always trying to like think, okay, let's say I get my account to $1 million, then what am I going to do? Because at that point, it might be better to, more profitable other strategies that you can trade with bigger accounts.
Right.
So I'm really practicing like trend following, and just like how to accumulate a certain move and just keep riding it as long as possible, which is pretty much one of the best strategies out there, based on all the analytics on all different trading strategies. Because you could really like basically you find something like Nvidia, you realize, okay, this is macro trend, micro trend, and it's on a strong chart just holding above, I don't know, whatever, let's say like the 15-minute EMA or something like that, or 15 EMA on the daily, and then you just hold it and, ride it. It's obviously much harder than that, right? It's not always that simple, but that's always what I'm practicing on the side. So hopefully like in a few years, once I have, that $1 million in a Roth IRA or something like that, I can start allocating that money more efficiently, because, day trading small caps, you're never really going to get a size bigger than like $200,000 maybe. If you're, doing what we're doing specifically, on the 1 minute time frame, trading really quickly in and out. Sure, if you're holding these for multi-day runners, you could build a $2 million position or something like that. So that's also an option, multi-day swinging top gainers. I know. I mean, there's traders that do it, right?
It's such a different strategy.
It's so different. It's crazy.
It seems like it's more a macro strategy than. It's got to be the right market that they do that they accumulate off the lows.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Or it's like a super hot market where you just, buy tickers that hold their high and you basically get ready for that next leg up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
also
right
a lot
now,
of risk,
it's not the
though.
market. Yeah.
You can wake up to an offering and you could be down 50%.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm not interested in.
It's a total different trading style. Yeah. And that's why I'm like doing it with like a small amount of money on the side, just to like over the years, hopefully build something. Cause it's definitely not something you want to do with a big account and then start learning from there. But yeah, that's a very low priority on my overall priority list, without a question.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts going forward for the trading week and maybe new month here?
Trade less, just avoid all this BS. It's just like nothing is worth getting super wrapped up in right now at all. And especially since I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks, my focus right now isn't maximizing profits. It's just basically go sideways, make a little money, whatever, get through the summer. Summer's typically not that hot. And so far, we're not really seeing anything that's telling us that's not going to be the case. So just trying to keep that in mind, keep all that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. You, Tom?
Yeah. So for me, kind of just keep doing what I've been doing. I'm actually on like a 22, 23 day green streak right now.
Nice.
So I'm doing very phenomenal. I don't want to talk about it too much because usually then it gives me bad juju. So I kind of just like to keep, don't boast about myself, just, keep like calm, every day is a new day. If I'm on a green streak, doesn't mean I'm going to be green today. Doesn't mean I'm going to be red today. So it's just every day is kind of, it's not mutually, it is mutually exclusive every single day. And I come into the day and what I do is I read the market temperature, the market sentiment, and I look at the stocks in play. And do I think that this stock is going to give me an A+ setup today? And if I do, like today, Hoth I thought was an A+ setup for me, with my trading style and the great pre-market chart with a low flow, has catalyst, high volume. And I stepped up to the plate. And on days like today, it's okay. I'm going to step up to the plate and try to maximize my profit on that single setup. And then I'll look to either walk away or be patient for another setup. On some days, like on Monday, it was really slow. And on days like that, being able to read that market sentiment or the temperature of the market was key to being able to keep it very small size, not really sizing up into that market. And I was able to walk away small green and be grateful for that. And I really like having that skill of being able to like come in and being not attached to my performance and being able to look at the market with fresh eyes and being able to, adjust my share size. Am I going to add higher on these stocks, or am I just going to buy the dip and then take my quick 5 cents, buy the dip, take a quick 5 cents on the front side ticker of the day, and then, make my $50 or $100 and then walk away after like maybe 15 or 20 minutes of trading? That's what I did on Monday. doing that, I was able to keep a solid 22, 23 day green streak. So I do hope to keep that going. But, you know, every day, like I said, is new, and it's okay to be small red. I don't need to keep the streak going every single day. It's mutually exclusive. So that's the sort of mindset that I have.
Yeah, that's a good mindset. Every day is day one. Doesn't matter what happened the day before. Just doesn't matter. You're just trying to take a good trade at a time.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think that you guys both have been in a really good flow. I've also been getting back into a nice flow. And yeah, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. It's actually funny. I think we all took basically the same trades on Hoth. I think you guys did much better than me on it today, specifically in that area. But yeah, that was a perfect setup. I mean, we had a nice 5-minute breakout. We got those pullbacks, and then it just ripped higher. It was like almost a 27% move. Yeah, it was a 20.
Yeah.
That was really it.
That was a really nice move. There were a ton of sellers on it that once they started to get pushed out of the way, it really started moving.
Yep. Yeah, that was beautiful.
And that was the same thing on FRZA yesterday too. It seems like there's a lot of sellers on a lot of things, but when the stock keeps holding up, eventually they get out of the way. It took FRZA and even UCAR last week. It's taking like 5 tries or so.
Yeah, it's more of a grind.
Yeah, paying attention to those stocks that are just not dying, I think, is really important.
I totally agree. Yeah, because eventually, you know, they do something like this where they kind of start holding, and then if the volume is there, then they start ripping, and that's where you can make all your money in that 30 minutes or however long it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
You only need like 1 or 2 good trades on that.
Move. That's almost how it always is when I look at my trades. I'm like, wow, it was really like these 2 trades or something like that made my whole entire day. Everything else was just kind of like scratching around.
That's exactly what I think about like all the time lately. I'm like, is it worth my time to sit here and trade this for like 1 to 5 cents? Or probably it makes more sense to just wait for something else to like actually have a move.
For sure. Absolutely. So since we're missing a 4th person and we didn't get to hear like another perspective today, it's probably fine that we call it early, but maybe someone else you guys have, is there anything you guys like want to share? Anything on your guys' mind? We did talk about game plans already, but
nothing on my mind at all. Nothing going on.
just blank in there.
I'm just gonna say, you just got to be grateful for the green, no matter the amount. And I think that sort of energy, that sort of mindset, gets you more green. I think that you get bigger days when you're thinking like that, and you get on a hot streak that builds confidence. And the more you're grateful, then I think that's just a very good, attractive energy to kind of when you're in trading. I just think that the market responds well to that sort of energy and that mindset, looking at that market, because the market is really like a gift. And you it likes to give to the people who are optimistic, are able to and be grateful for even just the small green days that they have, and the market's not that hot. You know, the people who are trying to push too hard and demand money from the markets, they fall flat on their face eventually when the market cools down. So I think being grateful is probably the best thing that you could do for any trader, beginner, intermediate, advanced. We're all trying to be grateful for the green days that we have.
Yeah. Market takes from those who want to make money from the market too.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. But
it's messed up.
It's sort of reverse psychology.
It is. I mean, that was my mindset today. I was just like, you know what? Yesterday was a big red day. That's fine. It's not a great market. If I could just do a few good trades today, I'll be happy. And then boom, I just made more than yesterday's losses. So
that's the thing. I think that's key. Is like, don't expect to make money. Do your best to make good trades. And if they're good trades, more than likely they'll come with money.
Yeah. It's a byproduct. Exactly.
Yeah.
Of the good trades.
Yeah. The making money is like a side effect of taking good trades.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll keep our eyes out for that next trend. And in the meantime, we'll just be grateful for what we can get away with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right. Sounds
All right.
good. Take it easy, guys.
All right,
See you guys.
everyone. Ciao, ciao. See you next time.